Welcome back to another M&S tutoring video. Today we're going to be learning how to convert between the two different linear equation forms, the slope y-intercept form and the standard form. So what we're going to be learning today is why we should be able to convert between the two different forms and some of the rules of standard form that you should be aware of when converting between the slope y-intercept form and the standard form. So why do they call it slope y-intercept form? Well, they call it slope y-intercept form because the slope, which is m, and the y-intercept is evident in this form, and you can easily tell what the slope and the y-intercept is. Why do they call it standard form? Well, standard form is usually used in the United States, and it's called a standard form because it's really universal, and you could use this form usually wherever you go. So here are some of the rules of standard form. Just remember that a and b are both constants and they're actually real numbers, but in this case I just put variables just to show you the general form. So the first rule of standard form is a and b have to be on the same sides, meaning it cannot be ax is equal to bx is equal to c, or it cannot be ax is equal to bx plus c. It cannot be something like that. It has to be ax minus bx is equal to c, right? So this is wrong and this is correct. Now, a cannot be a negative number. This is pretty straightforward. Now, moving on to the next rule, the equation has to be in the simplest form. Well, what I mean by this is the equation should not be able to be simplified even further. For example, if you have 7x plus, so in this case 7 is a, so if you have 7x plus 14y, in this case 14 is b, is equal to 21 and 21 is c, you should not be able to divide this entire equation by 3 and get a whole number answer of x plus 2y is equal to 3. You should not be able to get that. Now, the fourth rule is a cannot be a fraction. This is really straightforward as a has to be a whole number. Now, the last rule is a and b both cannot be 0. Again, this is really straightforward, but a lot of people tend to mess this up when converting between the two forms. So let's begin to convert between both the forms. Let's use our previous example that we have above with y is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus 2 as our slope y-intercept form and 2x plus 3y is equal to 6 as our standard form. So let's write that down here. We say that y is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus 2, right? And now we want to convert that into the standard form, right? Now, an easy way of doing this is basically isolating for the constant, or basically the variable that is a real number. So in this case, it's 2. So what we can do is we can bring negative 2 over 3x to the other side. We can say that 2 over 3x plus y is equal to 2. But as you can see, we have broken one of the rules of standard form, that a, since 2 over 3 is basically a, it cannot be a fraction. So to make it a whole number, we can multiply it by its base. So we can multiply it by 3. So we can say that 6 times 2 over 3x plus y, and since we multiply it by 6 on one side, we have to do the other side as well. So 6 times 2, and so basically it's 6. Sorry, we need to multiply everything by 3. I made a mistake here. So after we multiply everything by 3, like the left side of the equation by 3 and the right side of the equation by 3, we get an answer of 6 over 3x plus 3y is equal to 6. And if we simplify this even further, we get 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. And if you remember, that's the same thing as our previous answer below, which is, of course, the same thing, which is 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Now, say you guys don't want to spend all that time isolating for the constant and moving all the variables to the other side. Well, there's also a more simpler and more straightforward form. But for that, you're going to have to understand how the form actually originated. Well, this form originated with the general standard form equation. You have ax plus by is equal to c, and you're trying to get it to y is equal to mx plus b, right? So what you're basically trying to do is you're basically trying to isolate for y in this case. So if you want to isolate for y, you have to bring ax to the other side. So you can say that by is equal to c minus ax over here, and if we divide the whole thing by b, which is y is equal to c minus ax over b, we get basically y is equal to mx plus b. But you cannot really tell that right now because it's, it's out of order. So if we make this look a lot more neater and more intend to the form of y is equal to mx plus b, we get negative a over b, which in this case is m, right, x plus c over b. So basically what we have here is basically a little formula we can use to just basically get m, right, and a little formula over here we could use just to get b. So instead of isolating for the constant like we did before, we can simply just plug in the a and b for m and plug in the c and b to get the constant, the y-intercept b, and we can just make the y is equal to mx plus b form instead of isolating. Now, if you want to convert the other way around from y is equal to mx plus b, from ax plus by is equal to c, you can use the isolating trick again, or you could use this. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and please feel free to subscribe.